Tight hips? You're not alone. In this video, I'll guide you through 5 of the most effective hip mobility moves that I use with clients to ease stiffness and restore functional range of motion, all drawn from my work as a corrective exercise and movement re-education specialist. You'll want a mat, a chair or a wall for balance, and something to elevate your foot, like a yoga block, a step, or even a thick book. A cushion or a blanket might feel good under your knees as well. Let's begin with some hip circles. So hip circles are a great way to warm up the hips, but they're also a wonderful way to assess how are your hips feeling. Keep this pain-free. So pain-free range of motion, but your circles can get bigger as you spend a few moments with this circling movement, this rotation. How are your hips moving? Let's go the other way. It should feel great. Again, small to big, and this is our movement prep. This is part of our warm-up for our hip mobility, those 5 movements that will make your hips feel fabulous. Okay, let's do the cat-cow. The cat-cow starts at the pelvis. So it's a posterior tilt where the tailbone tucks under and you flatten out the lower back, and then we get a little arch. But it's very gentle. As you do your cat, round your back, open your shoulder blades, and then cow, lift your tailbone, lift your heart. So again, it's gentle, but it'll mobilize the pelvis, which will help your hips move better. And it'll help you feel better all around. Let's do 1 or 2 more. I'm gonna do 1 more. And then I'll come all the way up and roll the shoulders back and down just to get everything in alignment. Alignment is important for the hips, from heels to hips to shoulders to head. All right, so the first thing I wanna do, our first movement after our quick warm up, I have a block to stand on. You can stand on whatever surface you have. So for this, let me show you a bit from the side. I'm gonna start with my feet right next to each other. Shoulders are down, and we're gonna drop the hip a few inches. This is a lateral hip shift. And then I'll lift up and feel the engagement in the side of the body. So that's the movement, whether you have a block or you're just gonna go floor level. You're gonna drop down, feel the hip on the standing leg, and then lift up and feel the engagement on the side waist. So you can do maybe 5 max. Spend a little time down at the bottom and spend a little time at the top. I'll do 1 more. Lift, 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 and lower. You're not trying to touch the floor. And then I'll get off and I'll try the other direction. And your hips may move differently side to side. That's okay. I think that's how we all are, just a little asymmetrical. So drop and feel the hip open, and then lift and feel the waist. So drop and lift, slow and purposeful. We have a few more. It's always nice to have something to hold on to. You can hold on to the wall, the counter, just whatever you need, so that you can focus on this movement, complete range of motion. Notice the differences side to side. All right, let me put this block away. And our next movement, it is a hip car. So what is a car? A car stands for controlled articular rotation. So I'm gonna take my leg across center and open out. So from here, I want to stay strong in my standing leg. So without sinking, I'm going to stay nice and strong. And the idea is to keep this movement in the hip without leaning too much forward and back. But I'm going to lift up and out to the side. That's it. And when I get to the side as high as my body allows, I'll rotate internally and push back behind. So I'm going to feel my glute engage and come back towards the knee. Push back up and out, rotate out, and then cross center. That's it. So this is controlled. You're trying to go through range of motion in the hip, rotate back, push back, and then come back to center. And then you'll push all the way back, lift up and out. Try to minimize the movement. I'm gonna do 3 on each side. So you'll feel this, and you might feel it differently side to side, and that is typical. Chest up, go through the entire range of motion that you've got there. All right, so let's do the other side. I'm gonna use the wall on this side. So I'll cross center, just like so. Try to stay nice and aligned, and I'll lift up and out, and then I'll rotate back and push back and come to center. I'm trying to keep the rest of my body from leaning. See how successful I am or not. Lift up and across center. So it's very purposeful, mindful. Lift up, rotate back. And the better you get at this, the faster you can go. And this, again, it's a hip reset. It's full range of motion you're exploring, but it shouldn't hurt. And it shouldn't hurt the next day either. I'll do this as my last one. You can do between 5 and 10. And you end up at that start point right across center. So those are hip cars. Our next movement is a standing airplane. Sounds kind of fun, right? So with a standing airplane, I'm gonna face my stability point and I'll step 1 foot back. And we're gonna work with external rotation first. So from here, my toes touching the floor, the standing leg is gonna rotate out, everything's rotating out, and I'm gonna open and hold, and then I'm gonna come back to parallel, and then drop the hip. So you really feel this in the standing leg as you drop the opposite hip down, and then come back to neutral. So that's how to practice this with a foot on the floor. If your hips are cranky today, that's a good way to start. And then elevated a little bit or more. We can open out. So this way we're rotating on the standing leg. That's the leg that's doing the rotation. Squeeze the glute, hold, come back to neutral, and then drop that hip a little lower. Try not to sickle the foot. Try to stay as elevated as your body allows. Starting with a few, pausing at the top and at the bottom. You'll really feel these. And you can eventually do this without standing support. So I'll try 3 on each side today. And come back to center. So let's do the other leg. I'll step back, nice strong core, and we'll open out and then come back to center. So let me show you in the other direction. You might be able to see this better as I hold onto the wall. I'll lift up and then I'll hinge as much or as little as I like. And then I'm gonna open up and hold. That's it. Feel the hips on both sides. And then we'll turn and drop the hip. Make sure this action's in the hip and not your ankle. We're not sickling the foot. Let's do a couple more. Open. Breathe. It's really easy to hold your breath here. Last one. This is a big sensation, big movement, so make sure it remains pain-free. And then step to center. Do a little rotation to release any tension. And our next movements are on the floor, on the mat. So our next movement is a 90-90 hip opener for mobility. So I'm gonna come to the mat, have a seat, and then I'm gonna bring my knees to 90 degrees, my hips to 90 degrees, side to side. So let me kind of get centered here so it's a little easier for you to see. You don't have to be exactly 90 degrees. You can draw this top foot a little closer if that feels better. And all we're gonna do for now is just kind of move forward, bending with a neutral spine, side to side. So just kind of get comfortable. You might need to lean back to move side to side. We don't want it to feel too restrictive or uncomfortable. So this 90-90 Just feel it out. And play with it for a moment. And then from here, we'll rotate and go the other direction. So 90-90. So let me come to the front so you can see what I'm doing on this side. So a little 90-90 here. I'll fold over. And then I'll fold over. And you might notice, again, sides are different. Just play with it, lean back, lean forward. And then eventually, you can start moving 90-90, side to side, up and over with your support of your hands or without the support of the hands as you progress. So move 90, 90. That's it, side to side. Again, just do what feels good. Limit your range of motion. You can hold your 90-90 still at first and just move with it. Explore. And that's a great way to start 90-90s if you haven't done it before. So 90 degrees or a little bit. Bringing the foot in. Yeah. So notice, how are you feeling in the hips and the flank, right? All right, so after 90-90, we have a kneeling flow. So our kneeling flow is a lunge. So if you've got a block, it's kind of nice to use a block or something that's elevated. I'm gonna take the leg that's furthest back and I'm gonna step away from you. I'm gonna step that leg forward and put my block right in front. So this will open up your hip flexors. So as you come forward, notice how you feel, chest up. If you put your hand on the block, it'll allow you to kind of lift and stay elevated. So hip flexor stretch without over stretching. And this is a moving set of movements. We're not going to stay static. And then I'm going to step back, chest up, and hinge back and walk that block back for support for this hamstring and calf stretch. So we're getting in the whole lower body, moving from this kind of crescent lunge position into more of a hamstring stretch or as though it's a pyramid pose. Let's do that one more time and then we'll switch. I'll turn the other direction. Keep the chest up and the core strong. And again, this should feel fabulous. Come to center and then try it on the other side. Straight leg at first. So you've got a big range of motion. Chest up, step the block forward for support, and then take a moment. A blanket feels great under that back knee, and your front knee is over the ankle. And then shift back. This will really help your balance. Peel the toe up, feel more calf the more your toe comes up, but we're really going through the hamstring and its attachment to the pelvis. Feel the openness in your hip, squeeze your glute. And you have one more on this side. And then we'll stand back up and reassess. All right, take your time. Come up off the floor. And let's just take a moment to realign. So as we move back into, we can even do our hip shift side to side and see how that feels. I'm going to stay close to my chair and lift and lower a few times. How does that feel? We'll do 3 on each side. Your core is strong. So do your hips feel different than they did when we first started? Let's try the other side. So we're staying neutral with the spine and we're really laterally shifting the hips. Hopefully your hips feel more released. I'm going to put the block to the side so I don't trip over it. Then I'm going to go back to hip circles. This is the real assessment. This is the real test at the end. So how is your back feeling? How about your hips? Let's go the other direction. Roll the shoulders, do a little cat-cow. Roll up. And then notice how you're feeling right now. If your hips are feeling less stiff, that's your nervous system saying thank you. Keep the momentum going by downloading your free 7-day movement and mindfulness plan. The link's in the description, or you can scan the QR code on screen. It's packed with short, doable practices to help you feel better, body and mind. I'm so glad you joined me today. May your hips stay open, your steps stay steady, and your joints move like butter. I'll see you next time.